My brothers and sisters, let me ask you something, and I genuinely want you to sit with this question for a moment. What if the greatest night of your entire life has already passed and you didn't even know it? Not because you missed it, not because you were asleep, but because when it arrived, it didn't look the way you expected. It didn't come with a beam of light from the sky. No angel knocked on your door. Nothing dramatic, nothing cinematic. Just a quiet night, a tired heart, a few rakas that felt, honestly, a little rushed. A dua that was more tears than words. And you woke up the next morning and thought, that wasn't it. That couldn't have been it. My brothers and sisters, what if you were wrong? Here is the problem most of us have with Laylatul Qadr. And I say this with love, because I have had this problem too. We have been waiting for a Hollywood moment. We imagine it like this. A warm golden glow descends, we feel electricity in the air. Our dua comes out perfectly. Our tears flow in beautiful, meaningful streams, and we wake up the next morning absolutely certain that was it. That was the night. And because that experience never comes, because the reality is messier, tireder, more distracted than that, we spend every Ramadan convinced we missed it. But here is what I want to challenge today. The Prophet Tikul, the one who actually witnessed this night, the one whom this night was first revealed to. He never described it like that. He described something quieter, something closer to home. Something that when I share it with you today will make at least one of you stop and say, wait, that happened to me. I want to tell you about a sister I know. And if you are a mother, or if you have ever been utterly exhausted, this will land very close. She reached the 27th night of Ramadan. 3 weeks of fasting, 3 weeks of school runs, cooking iftar, washing dishes, making sure everyone else in the house was fed and rested. She was running on almost nothing. She almost didn't go to Taraweeh that night. She sat on the edge of her bed and told herself, I've probably missed it already. I'm not in the right state. I'm too tired. A person like me doesn't get Laylatul Qadr. Do you hear that thought? A person like me, she went anyway. Barely. She prayed at the back. She made a short dua. Not an eloquent one, just a few words. She cried. Not because she was moved by spirituality, but because she was tired and a little broken, and it all just came out. She went home. She slept. And then she woke up for Fajr. And she described something she said she had no words for. A stillness. Like the world had been rearranged slightly overnight into something more bearable. She had no desire to check her phone, no irritation. She read 2 pages of Quran, 2 pages she had read 100 times before, and she wept in a way that had nothing to do with sadness. She told me later, I didn't know what it was. I just knew something had shifted. My brothers and sisters, those feelings she described, those are almost word for word what the scholars of hadith describe as signs, internal signs, authentic signs, signs the Prophet Menk actually told us about. So let's go to the source, because this is not culture, this is not folklore, this is narration. Sign 1. The sun rises without blazing rays. Ubay ibn Ka'b, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated in Sahih Muslim that the morning after Laylatul Qadr, the sun rises appearing white, almost soft, almost gentle, without the sharp rays it normally carries. Now, how many of us are actually awake at sunrise after the odd nights? This sign requires you to be present for Fajr and to stay present. To look up. To notice. Think about that for a moment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed a sign in the sky, a physical, observable sign, and all it asks of us is that we be awake and looking. When was the last time you watched the sunrise after a night of worship? Sign 2. The night itself is calm and mild. Multiple companions describe Laylatul Qadr as a night that is neither too hot nor too cold. No harsh wind, a tranquility in the atmosphere itself, as if even the sky knows something is happening. I want you to think back across the last 10 nights. Was there a night that felt unusually still? A night where you stepped outside and the air itself felt different? You might have noted it and moved on, but that quietness, pay attention to it. Sign 3, the heart feels softened, almost cracked open. This is perhaps the sign most of us have experienced and least of us have recognized. You know that feeling after a long, hard cry, when everything tight in your chest has finally been released and there is nothing left but a strange, hollow calm. It is something like that, but spiritual, deeper than emotional. Scholars, drawing from multiple narrations, describe the believer on or after Laylatul Qadr as experiencing unusual ease in weeping, in dua, in recitation. Not performed weeping, not forced tears, the kind that arrive without invitation. There is a metaphor I want you to hold on to. When rain falls on dry, cracked earth, the earth does not think about absorbing it. It simply opens. It cannot help but open. Laylatul Qadr is that rain, and the heart that has been broken open by exhaustion and longing and honest dua. That is the earth that receives it. Sign 4. An unusual pull toward worship the following day. This one is subtle. After a night of real worship, the kind that reaches somewhere, the person wakes up wanting more, not less. Salah feels lighter. The Quran feels closer. There is a gravitational pull toward the prayer mat that was not there the day before. If you prayed a night and woke up the next morning craving the prayer mat, do not dismiss that. That pull has a source. Sign 5, a sense of peace that you cannot fully explain. Not happiness, not excitement. Something calmer than both. A settling, an absence of the usual noise inside your chest. Like the sister I told you about. She could not name it, but she felt it, and the feeling was real. I want to do something with you. Stay with me for a moment. Imagine it is the morning after the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and a trustworthy person, someone you know, someone whose words you trust, comes to you and says, I was shown in a dream. Last night was Laylatul Qadr. Now, think about what you actually did last night. How does your chest feel right now? Relief? Gratitude? A sting of regret? Now hold that feeling. And I want to offer you a different frame. What if instead of certainty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you something even more merciful? He gave you signs, not proof. Signs, like footprints in sand after someone has passed. Evidence that something was here, even if you cannot see the one who left it. Would you ignore footprints? Or would you look down and say, someone was here, something happened? The hadith are those footprints. The Prophet left them for us on purpose, not to give us certainty, but to give us enough light to keep moving forward. Now let me speak directly to the voice in your head right now, because I know it is there. Some of you are thinking, but I wasn't crying. I wasn't feeling spiritual. I just prayed out of routine. My brother, my sister, the Prophet Goku himself told us to seek Laylatul Qadr even in weakness, even in tiredness. Sincerity is not always loud. Sometimes sincerity is just showing up. Sometimes it is the prayer you almost didn't pray. Sometimes it is the dua you made when you had no beautiful words left. Just a name, Ya Allah, and a heart that meant it. And some of you are thinking, I committed a sin earlier that day. Allah would not give that night to someone like me. I want you to hear this carefully. Who do you think Laylatul Qadr was sent for? For the angels, they do not need it. This night was sent for broken people, for people who sin and still come back, for people who fail and still kneel. That is who this night was designed for. The door of this night opens widest for those who arrive the most desperate. Has Allah ever told us that His mercy requires a minimum standard of cleanliness before it reaches you? Does the rain ask the earth to be clean before it falls? And some of you are thinking I slept through most of it. The Prophet said, whoever prays Isha and Fajr in congregation, it is as if he prayed the entire night. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Karim, the most generous, does not calculate the way we calculate. He gives in proportion to His own nature. And His nature is generosity beyond what we can account for. Here's the mindset shift I want to leave you with. And I want you to sit with it because I think it changes everything. Stop asking, did I get Laylatul Qadr? Start asking, did Laylatul Qadr get me? Because this night was not given to us as a trophy. It was not designed to be collected and displayed. It was designed to transform. The signs, the calm sunrise, the softened heart, the pull toward worship, they are not proof of your achievement. They are evidence that something reached you, that the angels descended and something in the unseen world moved, and it moved in your direction. I want to tell you about an elderly man who used to come to our masjid. He was frail. He would hold the wall to make his way to the prayer hall. On the 29th night of Ramadan, I watched him pray 2 short rakas, slow, careful, deliberate, and then raise his hands. And in the quietest voice, he said only this, Ya Allah, I don't know what to ask for anymore. You know. He sat. He wept. He went home. He passed away 3 weeks after that Ramadan. His family told me that in his final weeks, he had a peace about him that none of them could explain. A settledness. Like a man who had handed something over and stopped carrying it. We do not know what that night was for him. We do not know what Allah wrote for him in those moments. But we know what it did to him. And sometimes that is enough. So what do you do with this? Here is what I want you to walk away with. Practically, tonight. First, watch the sunrise after every odd night. Pray your Fajr. Do not go straight back to sleep. Step outside. Look at the sky. Give yourself 5 minutes. The sign is there, but it requires you to be present to see it. Second, keep a 1-line journal through the last 10 nights. Not an essay. 1 sentence. How does my heart feel this morning? That is it. You may look back at it later and find something that surprises you. Third, do not dismiss quietness as emptiness. If a night feels unusually still, if something in you feels settled rather than stimulated, that is not nothing. That is data. Increase your worship. Hold the moment. Fourth, keep this dua on your tongue on every odd night. Allahumma innaka afuhun tuhibbul afwa fa'ni. Oh Allah, you are the pardoner, you love to pardoner. You love to pardoner, so pardon me. This is what the Prophet specifically taught Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, to say on Laylatul Qadr. 5 words of Arabic that carry a theology of hope inside them. You are not asking for reward. You are asking to be let go of, to be released. Keep it on your tongue. Fifth, and this one is important, guard the experience. If you feel something, do not rush to announce it. Humility protects what pride destroys. Let it sit in your chest for a while. Let it do its work before you give it words. If someone handed you a signed check but told you the amount would only be confirmed later, would you throw it away? Or would you hold it carefully, gratefully, and wait? My brothers and sisters who spend so much of Ramadan looking up, looking out, waiting for something dramatic. But the Prophet Siku, the most truthful of all people, described this night through stillness, through softness, through a sun that rises humbly, through a heart that finally opens. Perhaps the greatest sign that you witnessed Laylatul Qadr is not what you saw, it is what changed. Is there a part of you that is different today than it was 10 nights ago? A sin you quietly walked away from? A dua you finally made after years of avoiding it? A tear that fell not out of sadness but out of something that felt like relief? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not waste the effort of any soul. He told us that himself. So do not let Shaitan convince you that your worship was too small, too late, too broken to matter. The one who created you from nothing, do you think he needs your worship to be perfect before he gives you this? The night came, the decree was written, the angels descended, and they descended to every masjid, every bedroom, every kitchen where a mother stood making dua between one task and the next. To every broken heart that showed up, to every person who prayed even though they didn't feel worthy of praying. Somewhere in these last 10 nights, in a moment you may have already moved past, something descended in your direction. Was it your night? Only Allah knows. But the fact that you are asking that question right now, that longing you feel, that itself is a sign. You do not long for something that never touched you. May Allah make us all among those who witnessed it. May He accept our worship whether we knew it was the night or not. And may He write for us, through His mercy alone, every reward that our broken, sincere, imperfect efforts were reaching for. Ameen.